This video goes along with your How a Bill Becomes a Law worksheet. This is part 2 of this worksheet where we're talking about the committee system in Congress. So at the top of your worksheet in box number 2 on both sides, you can put that the bill will then be referred to a committee. So in the House and Senate, there are various types of standing committees. There are more committees in the House because it's a larger chamber. In the House, the Speaker of the House gets to decide which of the committees it goes to. And in the Senate, there's fewer committees, so it's fairly apparent which committee it goes to. Remember, they break the entire chamber up into committees and then into subcommittees because that's the fastest and easiest way to get work done. There's too many people in Congress for them all to be debating at once. So the committee does most of the work of Congress. This is a significant portion of the time that they take, and they have a lot of action that can be taken in ways to change bills or to move them forward. So the committee and then also the subcommittee part of the committee can amend the bill. So when it comes to them, it can be marked up, it can be changed. All of these changes have to be voted on by the subcommittee or the committee. They can also place additions to it. Sometimes these are referred to as earmarks. So at the bottom of the bill, you can add in various clauses for certain amounts of spending. Earmarks are often very controversial because sometimes you can add an earmark saying, oh, this particular congressional district will get this amount of money for parks and recreation. And they do that even if the bill itself is not about parks and recreation, because they want the person that represents that district to vote yes. So if they give a specific amount of money directly for that member's constituents, then they're more likely to vote for it. The bill can also be pigeonholed in committee, and this is the most likely outcome. A pigeonhole is a way for them to vote to postpone it indefinitely. It's kind of placing it aside. It doesn't actually kill it off. It can be resurrected from a pigeonhole and they can move it forward from there. But it's just a way to postpone it indefinitely. In fact, 90% of all bills will not make it out of the committee at all, and most of those get pigeonholed. They can, of course, vote to pass the bill. Once the majority of committee members have voted yes, the bill is reported out, and it will go on to either the full House or the full Senate. They also could kill off a bill. If they decided to kill it completely, it can never be resurrected. A pigeonhole allows a resurrection to happen in the future, even though that's rare. So most of the time they pigeonhole the bill instead of deciding to pass it. So the third box on your committee, on the left-hand side, the Senate does everything in the order in which it's received. So the bill goes to the bottom of the list that the Senate is working on. In the House, however, the bill gets to be added to the calendar, and this is done by the Rules Committee in the House, and this process is extremely partisan and political. So in the House of Representatives, after a committee has reported the bill out and they have voted on it, the Rules Committee gets to place rules on debate of that specific bill. So there are a number of ways that they can make this extremely partisan. The majority party controls almost all of the House rules because they have a majority of votes on the Rules Committee. So the Rules Committee gets to decide if they're going to use the Committee of the Whole, which is something that only happens in the House. Normally, there are 435 members of the House who would all get to debate the bill, but if they choose to use the Committee of a Whole, of which every House representative is a member, they only need a minimum of 100 members of the House to debate it. Now, this is less than 25% of all of the members of the House of Representatives. They can also debate with the full floor, which is the entire House chamber as well. Using the Committee of the Whole allows them to speed up the process by which they vote on bills, because all 435 of them don't need to be in the same room at the same time for this to happen. You only need a minimum of 100. If a bill also is caught up in committee, let's say a committee in the House pigeonholed that bill, the entire floor can vote to do a discharge petition, which is a vote to remove that bill from a pigeonhole and move it forward.